Good morning, children. It's Wednesday, 3rd June 2020. Now, today we'll be doing the next two chapters of Street Child. Now, the resources that you will need for today's lesson are a pen and a sheet of paper. Okay, so I'm going to pause the slide so that you can get your pen and sheet of paper. Now, our learning intention is I can make a prediction and support myself with evidence from the text. Success criteria to deduce from the evidence in the text what the characters are like and why they act as they do. To point to ways an author has used language precisely to get across a point of view. Chapter 21 Circus Boy. Now, we've seen in the last chapter that Jim finds himself in a Victorian circus and he finds himself with the circus owner and his wife, Mr. Giglino. Okay, now today we are going to read ahead. By midday, the huge tent was up and sawdust had been scattered in its ring. Madame Giglini was away for most of the day, but came back at dusk. Just as the lanterns were lit around the field, hanging from trees like ripe orange fruit. The tent glowed with yellow gaslight. Jim and Antonio stood by the gates of the field beating drums, and the circus band paraded round the tent, bugles and trumpets blaring into the twilight. Bats skittered over their heads like black rags. Up the lane came a rumble of wheels, and the children of the circus cheered. The people are coming, the people are coming. At the door flap of the tent, Madame Giglini was taking money and shouting, roll up for the greatest show on earth. See the flying horses of Araby. See Madame Bombardini as she flies through the air. See the strongest man in the universe. Now read the remaining chapters silently in your minds. You're going home, he whispered. Rosie lives in London town, Jim. Home. He ate some food under his magic signpost and set off again, faster this time. The sun was setting low and red across the fields, but the air was becoming hazier and sootier. London was near. He knew it was. Okay, so in this chapter, you can see that Jim managed to escape from the circus as well, and finally he comes to London, the place from where he had started. So it was like a whole circle of life. He started from London and then he landed up again in London. Now, here are a few guided reading questions. Now, again, you have to answer the questions and email them to me because when I write the answers, children go on the next slide, they see the answers and they just write the answers. So, what I've done this time is I've just put the questions so that I know that everybody actually has understood what they've read, and you can just email to me all the answers and I'll be happy to mark. Guided reading questions. Forcing animals to perform in a circus is cruel. Do you agree with this statement? Who do you think is standing with Madame Giglini? Why do you think this? Why can't Jim bring himself to throw the boots away? Okay, answer these questions on your sheet of paper. Now, Spag. Can you rewrite this direct speech sentence with all the missing punctuation? The sandwich shop worker asked, Can I help you? Now, here, children, the punctuation is missing. So wherever you think there should be capital letters, question marks, open inverted commas, close inverted commas, put the right punctuation in the sentence. B. Look at the underlined word in each sentence. Is it being used as a verb or a noun? During March, I made an Easter bonnet. The soldiers began to march up the hill. Okay, so where is the word march used as a verb and where is it used as a noun? Take one conjunction to complete the following sentence. The children still played the football match, something it was raining. Okay, so will it be although, until, nor, if? D. Mr. Hoops has accidentally jumbled up a modal verb. Can you help him to unjumble it? Okay, so what's the modal verb there? Underline the relative clause in the following sentence. Ostriches, which are one of the few flightless birds, can run up to 70 kilometers per hour. So which is the relative clause here? Okay, so remember that relative clauses always begin with a relative pronoun. Write an exclamation sentence about the picture. Okay, so you can see that someone is slipping on the banana peel. What sentence are you going to write about the picture? I'm going to pause the slide so that you can write all your answers down. Okay, so now here are the answers. The sandwich shop worker asked, comma, then open inverted commas, can I help you? Question mark, close inverted commas. And remember, the T needs to be capital because it's the beginning of a sentence. B. In the first sentence, March is a noun, and in the second sentence, March is a verb. C. Although the children still played the football match, although it was raining. Next one. Mr. Hoops has accidentally jumbled up a modal verb. So the modal verb is should. Now underline the relative clause in the following sentence. I said in the last slide that a relative clause always begins with a relative pronoun. So here, which is the relative pronoun? So which are one of the few flightless birds is the relative clause. Okay, write an exclamation sentence about the picture. What a clumsy man Mr. Hoops is. Now, a similar sentence, but it has to have an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Okay, so you can write any sentence, but it has to have an exclamation mark, and it has to begin with how or what. What a clumsy man Mr. Hoops is. Okay, now your task is imagine that you are Jim and you have just found the sign to London. Continue the story from the end of the passage, writing about what you may be feeling and what happens next. You should try and write about 10 lines. Okay, so you have found the sign to London. Imagine that you yourself are Jim. You have found the sign to London and he wants to know where his sisters are, and he wants to meet Rosie as well. What might he be feeling and what happens next? So you have to write a prediction of what's going to happen next in the story. Remember that it has to be at least 10 lines. Okay, write it in your best possible handwriting and then email it to me on the year 5 email address. Good luck with the task and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.